Hey guys, and welcome back to the Movie-Club Emporium. And this week we are talking about a movie that I was super excited for. It was getting a lot of praise. Uh, it's A24, and it's Kristen Stewart, which is she's really great. But I was watching something and they were revisiting Twilight. You're like, man, I'm glad she got her big check early because she's gone on to do some amazing films. And we're going to talk about her newest one, Love Lies Bleeding. Now, this is from the filmmaker. She brought us Saint Maud a couple years ago. And this one is really great, really fantastic. It's kind of, I was trying to explain it to Amber. I kind of compare it to, it's kind of a mix of Pain and Gain and Blood Simple. And I mean that in the best way. So it takes place in I believe it's supposed to be like the 90s, maybe the late 80s, early 90s. In the middle of like New Mexico, just kind of this one stoplight town. And one of our main characters, Jackie, she is looking to become a professional, like a not she's a bodybuilder, but she wants to become one of whatever they're called. The posers. You know what I mean? Like posing. And she meets up with Blue, played by Kristen Stewart. And let me tell you, first and foremost, Kristen Stewart, she's fantastic in this. She's so good. But I will be really curious come award season what's said about Katie O'Brien, because she is phenomenal. Not just with her physical look, but the emotional weight she has to carry as well. Again, this is a real like steamy, and I don't mean like erotic. There are some scenes of these two kind of being together and falling in love. They're not played for titillation really, as much as they're played for just straight. And then you have it in this greasy, sweaty, hot desert little town. Again, much like Blood Simple, and I think that's the best compliment I can give this movie. My main criticism at all is that Ed Harris, who is fantastic in this movie, and honestly maybe his most memorable kind of bad guy character since History of Violence. He's in the movie. I don't want to say that he's not in it at all. I just want more of him. He has his scenes. I just want more of him in this movie because he is scary. He is gross. He's got this awful. Oh, you've seen it. This awful skullet. He looks fantastic. He loves bugs. Like he just oozes creep. He's so good in this movie. Also, who's not getting a lot of mention is Jenna Malone and Dave Franco, who kind of pop up in this movie. Again, all the acting is fantastic. There is this wild editing. Speaking of Cronenberg, with where certain things happen and we see Jackie's body reacting. Could be to steroids. It could also be just physical, like it's showing her physical, using her physicality to show her emotional strengthening of her love for Kristen Stewart's character, like these weird like close up muscle bulging and veins popping, and it's really, really bizarre. Like again, almost Cronenbergian in some of the shots. Which kind of leads me to one of the big set pieces is Jackie goes to a bodybuilder show, like a amateur and pro, show in Vegas, but she's been dosing herself on the steroids. She's totally like fried out of her skull on them. It's almost like a fear and loathing situation. Like she's seeing people's eyes are all bulbous out, and people's faces are morphing. Uh, and then the scenes where she has to be on stage doing the routines. It's filmed so incredibly uncomfortable. The best way I could compare it when I was telling Amber about it was uh the scene in Pearl where she does the dance number for the judges. Like it's that level of you're just uncomfortable watching this unfold, and it's a wild ride. And the music in this movie is so weird. You have these kind of like great feels like 80s like PJ Harvey demos type music. Like it's not any like needle drops that you think of, but they have a certain way about them. And then again, you get to this. It's all building up to this kind of showdown because now the bodies start dropping, and a lot of the twists are popping out, involving the FBI and this like crevice in the middle of the desert. We're all quite figuratively and literally where all the bodies are buried. It's a real train station situation, if you know what I mean. Shout out to all you Yellowstone watchers. And there's this scene. It's the two major scenes I can think of. They're right at the end, and it just happened to be like Amber was kind of napping and dozing out. She happened to wake up at the wildest time of this movie, much like what happened when I watched Men, and she only caught the very ending of Men, where the movie gets very artsy, very symbolic. And I think in my notes I wrote that's an A24 of a climax. Like, whoa, what? Okay, oh no, it's just in their heads. Okay, like it was a wild scene in the climax, and then like there's like this wild, almost comedic scene of like them visually expressing their feelings of being free from the shackles of this small town. They can finally be together and free from everything that's been holding them back, and it's insane, just utter insanity. And then we get like the final ending of them kind of driving off, which leads to they themselves have a happy ending. That's no spoiler. But the ending of this movie is maybe the most comedically dark ending of anything I've seen in a long time, involving having to like dispose of this body that is almost, I can't tell if it's played for laughs or not. But I was just like, whoa, like just incredibly like, oh man, that is dark, but also kind of funny. So yeah, without getting too much more into any kind of spoiler territory, I freaking loved this movie. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. It is definitely going to be up at the top of my list. I feel that I don't know a lot that can knock it off. I love these greasy, sweaty neo noirs. I mean, come on, I do a whole month dedicated to them in November because I love this genre so much. This is a great one. Right up, it makes me think of, again, a lot of Blood Simple, a lot of Body Heat. Some of those great neo noirs like that. With phenomenal award-winning acting in it. The set designs are great. This like gym that they're in, it's like this like cinder block building with just like old like stenciled spray painted signs on the doors. It's like pain is weakness leaving the body, and all this stuff, and all these men and women together just getting their pump on. With also like pushed up against the other only real business you see in town being the gun range, because everybody's loving guns now because of where they live. And then there's a moment where Dave Franco says after Die Hard came out, everybody wanted to shoot John McClane's handgun. I even think there's a nod. There's a point where one of the characters is given a gun with a silencer that, if I'm not mistaken, is Hans Gruber's gun. So that's a little fun little nod. Again, this is a fantastic film. It's a fantastic neo-noir. I cannot recommend it enough. Go check it out. Now, next week, buckle up, because we are back already. Already we are back into a movie that I kind of feel like I've already reviewed. Like, I'm pretty sure weeks ago we talked about this movie. Or at least this movie under a different title. Because this time, we're talking about Immaculate. So, put on your habit and stay away from demon babies. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.